All right, hey, shalom, shalom. All right, hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Rakah, double honors due to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. All right. This is the brother Yeshaya, and just coming at you with a quick live. All right. And about, as you see the title, okay, the only views that should matter are those from Yahweh Shai and the heavenly hosts. Now, I'm speaking on behalf of, brothers that may not get, a lot of views. Okay. Like every time, you post a video, you probably get one, probably get a couple, maybe 10, 20. You know what I'm saying, is a good day. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, being in this flesh, we could allow, that to actually try to hinder us. I ain't gonna say hinder us, but try to hinder us from, doing the work. Okay, because you when you're tired and you're beat down and you like and you force yourself to do a video, you're basically begging the spirit to give you something, all right, to go into, you know. Uh and then you have that doubt, or you'll have that demon creep in, and he'll tell you, or it'll tell you, don't worry about it, you don't have to go live today, or you don't have to do that video today, ain't nobody gonna watch it anyway. But really, Yahweh Yahweh Shai is watching. Okay, the heavenly host, the angels, they're all watching, and they, the Rakak, the heavenly angels are a group, the Rakak Wadash, they are a group of angels that relay the message to and from, okay, from Yahweh Yahweh Shah. All right, but mostly is they relay the messages to us, okay, to so that we're preaching the right thing and we have the 100% truth. That's why the apostles, starting with Apostle Har on down, we teach that we have the 100% truth because it's from the heavens. All right, this is not convoluted. This is not polluted in any way. All right. So, let's see. Without further ado, I'm gonna grab. Uh, let's see. Yeah, let me grab this. But other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit. Some a hundredfold, some 60-fold, and some 30-fold. Now, all right, there's the fact that some brothers are not gonna have the a volume of videos, okay, that some brothers have. Like every brother can't be like an elder Yashawamba or elder Menachem, you know. So we have to figure out and pray to the Lord. Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Elder Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah. Yeah. Um, you know what I'm saying? We have to, follow suit. Yeah, Salakias. We have to pray to the Lord and ask him, you know, to really let us know our lot. Okay. To let us find out our lot, man. All right. Because, like I said, just because nobody's watching your video, okay, you upload your video, then an hour goes past, okay, and you know um or a day goes past and it says what, uh oh, two views, or sometimes it'll say zero views, so we can't let that discourage us in any way from, because the work has to be done regardless. And the Lord will have it to where, uh, certain brothers don't have, don't have the viewership that other brothers have. Okay, that's cool. All right, but how about Hashem Yahweh Shah sees everything, and that's what we need to think about. Okay, that's what we need to think about when we're doing these lessons, right? So moving on to the book of First Corinthians, chapter let's see what I want to go in this. I know it's in First Corinthians. First Corinthians chapter 12. Yeah. Uh I'm gonna start at one. First Corinthians 12 and 1. Now, brethren, spiritual gift. Now, concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. You know that you were Gentiles carried away to the unto these dumb idols, even as you were led. Wherefore I give to you to understand that no man speaking by the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua calleth Yahushua a curse, and that no man can say that Yahushua is the Lord, but by the Holy Spirit. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same spirit. Okay. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. So every brother is not going to be, you know, every brother is not going to teach the same. Every brother is not going to have the amount of knowledge that another brother has. Okay. And that doesn't mean that you covet another brother's gift, okay? Because hey, you like how Elder Yashawama goes into things, or you like how this brother goes into things, or you just you're like, man, Lord, why can't I, get down on that, or why can't didn't you give me those gifts? All right. When we need to be thanking the Lord for the individual gift that we already have. Okay. That the individual gift that we already have, man. Okay. And and once you get into this thing, okay, once you get into this thing, a couple years or whatnot, you're gonna realize your gift, man. Okay. You're gonna find your footing in this thing. And if you don't, just pray to the Lord, like what James 1 and 5 says. All right, this is the book of James, chapter 1. Excuse the dog. All right. He's not a dumb dog that he doesn't bark. My dog bark. All right. The book of James is after Hebrews. Salakia. All right, we're going to the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 5. Yeah. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to give it to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it should be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. So there you go. Okay. There you go. All right. So if you think that you are you know, lacking something, just pray to the Lord. All right, pray to the Lord for what? More wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, and he will be happy to oblige that, man. All right. He will definitely be happy to oblige that because what you're not asking for these carnal things that these people, ask for, like, a better job or more dollars in your bank account, or that woman. All right. No, you're asking for things that are pleasing unto the Lord. Just as the example of King Solomon. Okay, when he went to the Lord, and the only thing that he asked the Lord was to bless him with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, bless him with more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And then the Lord said, "Hey, since you did that, then I'm gonna bless you. Everything else will be added unto you." Roughly paraphrasing. So that's something that you need to think about when you're preparing yourself to uh inquire of the Lord of certain things, man. You got to know what you're asking for. All right. James 1 and 5 once again, but if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it should be given him. All right, and this is the kicker, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. Okay, the scriptures say a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, right? Like tossed to and fro. Verse 7, for let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And that was it right there. So yeah, man. Okay, so when you pray unto the Lord, especially about spiritual gifts, man, you got to realize, and that's the art of praying. Okay, that is the secret of praying. You have to basically envision and believe that the Lord will give it to you or grant you whatever you're praying for. And if he does it, then it wasn't his will in the first place. So it's going to work out anyway, right? Because the Lord knows what you need and don't need. Right. So let's move on. Yeah. Let's go back to First Corinthians 12 and verse 4. Now there are diversity of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of operations, but it's the same power which worketh all in all. So, every brother is not going to be a head of a camp, or every brother is not going to be, head of a region, or, you know, and shoot, every man that's in this thing is not going to be a prophet. Okay, because we got certain men that have are on the comment boards, and they're reading and they're studying and they're teaching their families, but they don't have 1 minute of street ministry, which there's nothing wrong with that if that isn't your spirit to do so. Now if that's your spirit to do so, then go out there, and you got to put the pedal to the metal, or put the boots to the pavement, like they say. All right, but you got to figure out how shy, if that is something that is made for you or meant for you. You just don't want to go out on the highways and byways and find yourself putting your hand on the plow, and you're not doing anything to help it, or you're not doing it's not your, yeah, basically that wasn't your lot to be out there. Now you looking stupid, and you might uh risk putting your hands on the plow and letting it go. So, you gotta walk in the spirit, okay, when it comes to these things, man. All right, so that you don't, get messed up. All right. And make sure that you're doing what the Lord made you to do. Verse 7. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. For to one is given the Spirit the word of wisdom, the other, to another, the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another, faith by the same Spirit, to another, gifts of healing by the same Spirit. Okay, to another, the working of miracles, to another, prophecy, to another, discerning of spirits, to another, diverse kinds of tongues, to another, the interpretation of tongues. But all these work of that one and the self same spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. So, the beauty of the diversion of or diversity of the gifts is that it all works in one. Okay, it all works in one for the body. Okay, so and that's the beauty and the complexity and the, yeah, like the diversity of the body, because it's synergistic or synergetic, right? These parts all work together separately for one goal. All right, and that's to push the word, and to basically deliver the word with no guile found in our mouths, man. All right, that at the end of the day, we are to preach this word and do it with all truth and sincerity, with no guile, with no guile found in our mouths. All right, and that's what the elect will be doing in these days, man. Okay. uh yeah, so we all have different, diversity of gifts, but all these work of that one and self same spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. For as the body is one and have many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is the Mashiach Yahawashi. For by one spirit we are baptized in one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one spirit, and that Jews and those Gentiles are other Israelites. All right. For the body is not one member, but many. So, and it's going to go into the different offices of the body, but you got to look. The pinky doesn't do the same thing that the calf does. All right. The bicep doesn't do the same thing as what your damn um middle finger. I don't know. I'm trying to compare a part of the body that has major functions, to a body that has less function. So let's just do it like that, because I'm not good with coming up with these comparisons right now. So say you got a major part of the body, all right, and say you got a smaller part of the body. Let's say you got the whole calf muscle, okay, but then you got the Achilles, which the Achilles is very important. Okay, it's a smaller muscle. It's not big as the calf, but it supports the calf. Okay, if your calf is weak, then your Achilles is going to tear. Okay, so then you have the bigger body that works in synergy or works together with the smaller body. So this is all perfect, man. How the Lord set it up. Okay, the Lord set up, the apostles. Okay, then you got bishops, you got elders, you got regular men that's in the truth. Okay, but you got to know your role, man. All right, like the like the Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth, man. You just got to know your role, and it comes with time and it comes with humility. Because you got guys that are coming here, and they'll say, they'll come in and learn a couple precepts, and now they don't want to be part of a camp. All right, they think that they have it all. That Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai is only dealing with them. Okay, and we've seen a lot of guys fall out that way, man. Okay, so it starts with humility. All right. And knowing your role in this thing, man. Okay. Knowing the role that the Yahweh Shah set you up to do. Okay. And not overstepping that or understepping it or underachieving. Okay. So that's where, asking the Lord and like James 1:5, like I just read, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh Shah that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. Okay. So if you don't have it, or you don't have a certain gift that you think that that you want, okay, just ask the Lord for it and he'll give it to you. But you got to know at the same time to not overstep your boundaries, man. All right, I remember this. uh Brothers probably remember, but it was these guys a while ago. I think one of the brothers still going. I forgot what they called themselves, but they was a duo, and they used to go live like 3 or 4 times a day. And brothers would be like, man, what the hell? And this was when live was just starting, and it was like more reserved for elders, the apostles and elders. And these guys was going too hard. All right, they were going live like 4 or 5 times a day. And brothers was like, man, what the hell is wrong with these cats? And I don't know where the other cat is, but I know the one of the cats, the more heavier Issachar cat, he's still doing his thing, I think, from the last time I saw, but I haven't seen the other guy. But I say all that to say this: just know your role, or the Lord will kick your ass out for trying to usurp or trying to gain a position. Scriptures say, when you enter a house, take the lowest seat. And then when the Lord decides to lift you up, okay, that's when it's time to be lifted up. Not when, you just wake up to the truth and you think that you're on the apostles level. Okay. And that's where you're gonna play yourself. All right. Congratulations, you just played yourself, right? So back in First Corinthians chapter 12 and verse, yeah, 14. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And that's what I was going into earlier. Okay, just because some brothers don't receive as many views as um most brothers, okay. Hey, that doesn't mean not go hard for the Lord, man. All right, certain videos I've done in the past, some of them got 0 views, some of them got one view, and on the flip side, Lord bless it to where it got hundreds of views, 1,000, which is not. I'm not bragging because that's not much. You got elders and brothers that average 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 videos a pop. Okay, and that's beautiful. Okay, I'm not hating or I'm not being covetous. I'm just stating what the facts. All right. So just because you get 1 or 2, 3 views, 10 views, hey, it doesn't matter, man. Okay, and I had to teach myself this because when I came in, it's like and oh, it didn't get this much, it didn't get but hey, who cares though? At the end of the day, as long as you're doing the work of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai, and hey, your works do follow you. Okay, they're being annotated in the kingdom. Your works are being annotated and written and jotted down by the angels, and the angels take it to Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai, if he sees fit, okay, he takes that message right to the Lord. So that's why I said the only videos in this title, the only videos that you should be concerned about is the ones from Yahweh Shai and the heavenly host, because the heavenly host, okay, the scriptures say that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Okay. And many and a couple other scriptures, but the Lord has it to where the angels take note of everything and they take it right back to him. Okay. And if that message that you sent, okay, is pleasing to Yahweh Shai, then he relays it to the Father, man. Okay. So, you know, and it's not even gonna come to views when it, pretty much in the near future, because we're coming upon a time where the ministry It's about to be shut down. Okay, you know you're gonna have YouTube bans on YouTube. You know, censorship is gonna be at an all-time high. So hey, it's pretty soon it ain't gonna be about views. It's gonna be about the work that you put in, the body of work that you put in. And those brothers that get less views, you gotta look. Hey, it might be a time where brothers with more views, might get clipped or might get taken. And then yours videos are still here, and then the Lord might have it to you get your views on the back end. That's if you care about views that much. Like I don't really care about views that much, but I'm just saying, right? But anyway, uh yeah. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, am I not of the body? Is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? And if the whole body were hearing, where were the smelling? But now hath Yahweh Bashem Yahushua set the members, every one of them in the body, as it has pleased them. So you just gotta be, just be grateful for your place in this truth, whether it be small or whether it be large. Okay, because you got to look at it and look at King David. All right, what did King David say? King David said that he rather be a doorkeeper in the kingdom of heaven. I mean, not to than to be something of high stature over here, man. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, let me grab that, man, because King David said he'd rather be a doorkeeper, you know, and that's King David. That's the head of the church. All right, that's the rock. Okay, that Yahweh Shai placed the church on. All right, which Yahweh Shai is the ultimate rock, but King David is the little rock. All right, aka Peter. All right, doorkeeper, KJV. Yeah, here it is. Psalms 84:10. For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. I'd rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. So he said that he'd rather take a lower level in the kingdom, okay, after it's all said and done, than to, be dwelling fairly over here, or sumptuously over here, or having a high fed or high ranking over here, man. All right, that's the example that we all should be following. Right, one of the many examples that we all should be following of King David, right? So let's go back. First Corinthians yeah. First Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 18. But now hath Yahweh Bashem Yahushua set the members, every one of them in the body, as it hath pleased them. Okay, so it pleased Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to set certain men up. Okay. And if you're not happy with that, or if you're not, if that doesn't please you, then you basically saying that Yahweh Shah made a mistake. Okay, that Yahweh Shah, just because he gave you a little portion, that you shouldn't be a part of the body. All right, and that you're gonna fade to black. Okay, you're gonna play the corner. Okay, and, I'm in the corner, but I'm not playing the corner. All right, but anyway, you just want to play the corner. And when you go to camp, all right, when you're in camp, especially for brothers that have, a lot of members. Okay, you're in the camp. Uh when brothers do sit downs and lessons, you don't say anything. When brothers are out on the line, you're just, one of the brothers holding a sign, engaging in sidebar conversation with brothers, and you ain't bring out one precept. All right. Just because you think that your um space in this truth, okay, doesn't warrant, you putting in the effort, all right, the extreme effort that you should, just because nobody's gonna be watching. And that's BS, man. All right, because you could fuck around and one day say, okay, well, I'm not about to do this lesson. All right, and it can wait. All right, fuck around 1 week go by, 2 weeks go by, A month goes by, and now look, you ain't in the truth no more, man. Okay, not saying a brother that ain't do a video or a lesson ain't in the truth, but it's hard. Okay, if you got to shake that shit off and you got to pray and fast and repent, like the Lord said, in Revelation, the second or third chapter, whether he rather you hot or cold. Okay, and if you're lukewarm, he's gonna spew you out of his mouth, aka spew you out of the body of Yahweh while Yahweh shot. So yeah, 19. And if they were all one member, where were the body? But now there are many members, yet but one body. And I cannot say unto the hand, I have not no need of thee, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. Nay, much more those members of the body, which seem to be more feeble, are necessary. So your smaller part, you're the Achilles tendon that's supporting uh, your the calf muscle of the leg. Okay, you're the you know clavicle that supports the shoulder and all the different muscles and tendons that hold the shoulder up and allow it to have certain flexibility. Like, just because your part of the body is not a major part, like the Lord said, doesn't mean that it's not needed. Okay, 22. Nay, so much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary. And those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor. And our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. Okay, so hey, you gotta the Lord, he set up this body perfect. Okay, and the sooner you get down with your how Shaw's program and understand that everything that he does is perfect. Okay, the Lord doesn't make any mistakes, and that's including you. That's including whatever place you're in the count, whether you're a head or you're the least brother. All right, but what did it say? It said there for our and those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon those we bestow more abundant honor, and our comely parts have more abundant comeliness. So, hey, don't worry, man. The Lord has it to where, and I see, I can see to where if you're a sincere brother, okay, but you don't get a lot of views, man, the Lord gonna have it to where, man, before this thing happens or the internet shuts down, you might get 1 million views on one video. Okay, one might go viral. Okay, and then bam, you ain't got to cry no more. You ain't got to pout no more. Oh, my video didn't get a lot of views. There you go. Your shit went viral, right? I mean, you never know how the Lord does it. You just have to be be happy. Okay, be grateful for your position in the truth, whether it be minute, okay, no matter how minute or how major it is, man. All right. So uh yeah, verse 24, for our comely parts have no need, but have tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacked, that there shall be no schism in the body, that the members should have the same care for one another. So you got to look at it like the Lord set up your body. Okay, the smaller muscles, the smaller tendons, and everything like that don't go notice your gallbladder, stuff like that people get removed. That plays a very, very important part in your body. Okay, your tonsils. Okay, a lot of people get their tonsils removed, but your tonsils is basically filtration, all right, for what goes down into your body. All right, so every part of the body is integral, man. Okay, no matter small or no matter great. And whether one member suffer, Slakia, verse 25, that there be no schism in the body, but that the members should have the same care for one another. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it. Or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. Now ye are the body of Yahweh Mashiach and members in particular. So there you go. That's beautiful, man. All right. So hey, no matter how small the part, because you got to think the smaller, part that you have in this faith is basically the less, bricks that you're putting to the building, so to say. But you're still getting that same penny okay, that the you know watch the workmen were complaining about. Let me get it, okay, because basically it said, well, how does he get this same wage when we've been toiling since noon? Okay, you got guys who gonna come in at the last minute. Okay, they've been toiling since morning, like our apostles and elders and brothers like me that came in on the last second, the 2016 batch. Okay, and Lord willing, I get the same penny that the apostles have got, or we get the same penny that the apostles received, and they've been toiling this thing 40 plus years. So there is a gift in basically getting, you know, um, your reward for doing less work, pretty much. All right. So let's see. Where's that scripture at? Uh Bear with me for a second. It says oh, yep. This is Matthew 20 and 1. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers in his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. Again, he went out about the sixth and ninth hour and did likewise. And about the 11th hour, he went out and found other standing idle and said unto them, why stand you there all the day idle? They say unto him, because no man hath hired us. He said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So even when when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard said unto his steward, call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from the last until the first. And when they came, they were hired. About the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and they likewise received every man a penny. And when he had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, these last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and the heat of the day. So that's like the apostles, okay, and the elders, bishops on down. All right, the elders, the bishops. I mean, Slacky, the apostles and the bishops and the elders on down, saying, "Well, we've been toiling 30 years, 40 years, and this guy that came in 10 years, 5 years, 2 years of work, maybe even 1 year of work, he gets the same penny." And this is what the Lord said. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, these last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made us equal unto us, which have borne the burden in the heat of the day. And he answered one of them and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst not thou agree for me a penny? So when you sign up for this thing, we understand that there's a reward. All right. Take that thine is and go thy way. I will give unto this last even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with thine own, with mine own? Is thine eye evil because I am good? So the last shall be first, and the first last. But many be called, but few be chosen, or but few chosen. So Lord willing, hey, we're gonna be chosen. All right, no matter how little the work, and I'm not talking about how little the volume is as composed to what the Lord has given you. Okay. Basically flipping that talent. All right. Doing, the most that you can humanly possible. All right. Before we get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Or before, the YouTube is shut down, before, you know, um, yeah, So I think I was done in that First Corinthians. Nah, we got a couple more. All right. And Yahawashi Yahushua set some in the church, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly, teachers. After that, miracles. Then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversity of tongues. So there is there's a multifold of, or a hierarchy of gifts, man. Okay, everybody can be an apostle. And I just saw a video. I didn't check it out yet, but I think it's in my watch later. I'm gonna check it out. One of the brothers or the elders was like, everybody's not an apostle, which is true. Okay, even though Apostle Tahar, I think, broke it down. Basically everybody's apostle because the apostle means to be sent out, but it's actually a title. All right, so the apostles, of great millstone are the apostles. We're not really apostles for real. Okay, like one of the brothers has said. But anyway, uh are yeah. After that, miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversity of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret? But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way. So there you go. All right. So, all right, let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 25. Oh hell. Shit. All right. 25 and verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is a man traveling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto him his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another two, and to another one, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. So this is according to your several ability. The Lord knows how much work that you can handle, all right, without going crazy, without bugging out, without fizzling out to get to that finish line. And you got to trust him, man. And likewise, he that received Salakia. Then he that received 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. And likewise, he had received two, he also gained other two. But he that had received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. So you don't want to be that wicked and slothful servant. All right, like the Lord said, he's gonna spew you out. All right. There should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So let's yeah, and I'm gonna skip down to the bottom. In which he received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, weeping where thou hast not sown and gathering where thou hast strawed, had not strawed. And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast his talent. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gathered where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have to put my money to the strangers, that in my coming I should have received my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him that have 10 talents. For to everyone that have should be given, and he shall be have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away, even that which have he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So you don't want to be that one. All right. So that shows you, the importance of doing this work. Okay, and finishing your course, like Paul said. Okay, I finished the race. Right. So let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 30. Yeah. All right. Uh, this is Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 9. Then he said unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe unto these slain that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came unto them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Now, brothers used to, break this down, hey, prophesy to the wind, all right? And when, you basically out on the line, and nobody's hearing it. Okay, that's how the old breakdown went. And hey, that's what that goes to show that you need to do this thing without seeking any type of attention, man. Look at John the Baptist. Of course, he had followers, but he was in the wilderness. You don't think he had times or spouts where no one was listening except the damn animals of the field? But he still did it out of fervency. And look, Jeremiah, he tried to shut the words up of the Lord, but I mean, he tried to stop from preaching, but it was in his bones and fire, like the scriptures say, man. So if it's in you, you're gonna do it regardless. Okay, if this word is in you, you're gonna do it regardless, no matter what. Okay, no matter how many people's watching. Okay, whether it be 2 or 2 million, right? uh the book of First Corinthians chapter 4 chapter 4 and verse 9. For I think that Yahweh Yahushua has set forth us, the apostles, last, as it was appointed for death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world and to angels and to men. All right. So, hey, that's to our apostles, but, that applies to us too. He set us up. Okay. And this is do this work, man. All right, because every time the Lord sends his prophet, all right, that signifies the downfall of the kingdom. So we're right now in the last part of Babylon the Great. So, hey man, throw your line in the water, man. Okay, no matter if any fish biting or not. All right, and then before you know it, man, hey, the Lord can have it to where when you about to pick up, when you're about to, pick your rods up and go home. Hey, you might catch a 50 pounder. All right, and feed your family for the whole, winter. You never know, right? So let's go to the book of Galatians, chapter 5. Galatians 5 and 5 and verse 26. Yeah, let us not be delirious. Salakia. Um, Galatians 5 and verse 25. If we live in the spirit, let us also walk in the spirit. And that's one of my favorite verses. Okay, 5 and 25, Galatians 5 and 25, man. Walk in the spirit. All right, when you walk in the spirit, you're not gonna be desiring vainglory, you're not gonna be covetous. Okay, yeah, you're gonna just, you're gonna be walking in the spirit. Galatians 5 and 25, if we live in the spirit, let us also walk in the spirit. Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. So you don't have to envy your fellow brother or elder or you don't have to, man. All right, the Lord, he gave us, all right, diverse gifts, okay, according to his heart, and just be happy with that, man. Okay, just be satisfied with that, man, with what the Lord, distributed. All right, because he knows what he's doing, man. The good Lord knows what he's doing, man. All right, and you got to believe that. First Corinthians, this my couple more, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Trying to beat this tablet from dying. First Corinthians 7 and verse 7. For I would that all men were even as myself, but every man have his proper gift of Yahweh Yahushua, one after this manner and another after that. So that's the key. Figuring out what your niche is in this truth and taking it to the next power, taking it to the next level, man. Okay. And the Lord created you, all right. Um, you know, he created you wonderfully. He created you basically he created each and every one of us, different. And if you be yourself, that goes within to being yourself. If you be yourself, you will find out what your gift was and what your purpose is being on this earth. All right. To do the work. And I'm talking about do the work, not to dribble a basketball or to, catch a football or some shit like that. To speaking of the ones of us that have been called in this ministry to do the work, right? So Philippians, okay, this is the book of Philippians. Damn. All right, book of Philippians chapter 2 and verse 3. And it reads, let nothing be done in strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem each other better than themselves. Let not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of other. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushua Mashiach. Okay. So it's going into basically being humble, man, and being thankful for your gift. All right. Yeah. And you know, going into, you know, the example of how Yahawashi, lived his life. Let not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushua Mashiach, whom being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. Now, Yahushua doing that, that should automatically flood your mind with thoughts of being humble. Okay, because the Lord came down here and suffered what he did, suffer, unimaginable cruelty. Okay, being numbered with the transgressors. All right, how much more us, man? Being the servants, right? He made himself a servant on this side, man. Like I said, the form of a servant. So I'm gonna end it with this one. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 13. And it reads, Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Well, the whole armor of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. So that's it right there, man. We want to have done everything, all right, in this day, okay, to be able to stand in the day that's to come, okay, because it's going to come a time where every man should not work, where men should not be able to work, okay. And what we're doing right now is ultimately our building our bank account up in heaven. Okay, it says, well, moth and rust doth not corrupt. All right, I'm gonna end it with that. All right. So this work does not go out in vain, man. All right. And you gotta believe that, or if you don't, then you're gonna be out of here. And he's gonna make you a walk a open example, okay, of what not to do. Right. This is this is Matthew 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there where your heart be also. So, hey, our treasure is in pleasing Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and our heart. And, basically, we're down here, to finish a mission, to do a mission. Okay. And it's almost coming time where the Lord is about to seal the spiritual doors of you know the spiritual Noah's Ark, which is the grace and mercy period that we're currently in right now. And then we're on to the next phase, man. Like the elder Wamba always says, we're going from glory to glory. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to end it with that. Want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors due to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who were well. Peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. Shalom.